Welcome to Embracing the Bold Radio Hour, where we explore the vibrant arts, entertainment, and design scene right here at Valencia College. Join us as we chat with students, faculty, and artists about their journeys, inspirations, and professional experiences. Each episode unveils the creative pulse of our campus, offering insights into the world of artistry and education. Let's delve into the heart of creativity together right here on Embracing the Bold. We're so glad you joined us today, and I'm your host, Rebecca Lane. We are so glad you're here. Today, we are going to be talking all about the Opera Theater Workshop's production of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. This show plays on November 30th, Friday, November 3rd. Oh dear.
December
1st. Thank you. So Thursday, November 30th, Friday, December 1st, and Saturday, December 2nd. And we are so excited to have everybody here. In the studio, we have, and I will let you guys introduce yourselves. We have...
I'm John Clayton. I'm assistant directing the show.
I'm Xiomaris Legarreta, and I play Rosemary.
I'm Cameron Wasteney, and I play J.B. Bigley.
And I'm Igor Bruch, and I play Mr. Finch.
Fantastic. And so before we get started, I just want to remind you that we have a full season here at Valencia College. Actually, I do believe that the Fall Opera Theater Workshop performance closes out our fall season, but that doesn't mean we don't have some amazing things happening in January. When we return, we will have a photography show. We're opening our arts season with a photography show on January 18th that's featuring the work of our own Valencia College photographer, Stephen Sobel. Then we will move on to January 26th. We have a dance concert, 4 in Motion, that features our Valencia College Dance Theater, as well as 3 other dance companies in the Orlando, Florida area. And moving into February, we have a symphonic band community concert. We have She Kills Monsters. We have a spring jazz band concert, and we have the Humanities Speaker Series. And some of those are part of our Spring Arts Week events. So this is the end of our fall semester, but when we come back in the spring, the arts will begin again in full force. All right, so we are back to our interviews on how to succeed in business without really trying. So before we go much further, can you guys tell me what the show is about?
Succeeding in business without really trying. No, it's about a window washer with a dream of not being a window washer anymore. And one day he finds a book called How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. And he hears a voice inside of his head that tells him exactly how he needs to climb the corporate ladder. And we watch as our protagonist climbs the corporate ladder and succeeds in a way that is both comedic and resonant for the time period in which it was written, which was 1960.
All right, so it's resonant for 1960. Nice. So what's it have to do? Why is it relevant today?
I think we're all still kind of climbing ladders. Everybody's always trying to get promoted, and I think it's just sort of like a universal idea of working in a corporate structure. It is interesting to see sort of that 1960s Mad Men vibe of how certain characters are written in a certain time period and ends up being a period piece. But there's still universal themes of succeeding and trying to make more money and get the bigger job and the bigger office and the bigger desk with your own personal secretary that I think so many people strive to achieve every single day.
All right. So, and you guys kind of looked at each other when I asked that. So what do you have to add to that? How is How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying relevant today?
I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we all, like, personally want more and, like, we want to be better because we feel that we can be better and, you know, we're good enough for what we think we can achieve, you know. And I feel like that's what Finch kind of believes a lot. And he'll do and say anything to get where he wants to be, even if it's not entirely true.
All right. And you looked like you wanted to say something, Zio.
Yeah, so one of the biggest themes upon reading How to Succeed that came to mind was loyalty and really sticking it out. I think my character, Rosemary, she is met with some difficulties finding out, she sees Finch climbing this ladder and she is so in love with him and she wants to help him succeed. She wants to see him thrive, but she also wants her success in being his wife and having a loving relationship. And so she really has to stick it out while he's distracted away in the office. She has to find ways to let her voice be known and let her name be remembered.
All right. So Rosemary has her own struggle towards success.
Yes.
Nice. And what about you, Igor?
Well, I love seeing the show from the perspective of 2023. I know it's an old show, 1961. And to me, the funny of the show is that not a lot has changed in the corporate world. And we still see a lot of people that we wonder if they actually know what they're doing, if they know what job they're doing, in positions of power and success and money. And although some of the references, we might miss, the funny is still there because things are changing, but we still see that situation happening nowadays. And just piggybacking on whatever she said about Rosemary, I think I told Zio when we started reading, Rosemary is the only one who actually knows what she wants. Despite being a theme of a little old-fashioned theme of she wants to be a wife, she wants, to...
Ingenue.
Exactly, but she's the only one who actually has an honest motif, I guess. Not just being rich and the CEO.
Okay, so what is your character's journeys?
Well, mine, I start as a window washer, right? And I find that book, and I kind of want to get out of the situation. And I feel like Finch is always looking into offices and seeing all those people all dressed up, and all the way up high on the skyscrapers. And he finds the book, and he's basically following the book blindly until he cannot find the book anymore, and he actually has to start thinking for himself. So we think that Finch is not going to have any change, and he's just going to be that simple guy that's just going to follow whatever the book is telling him. But he does come through, and he finds himself, and realizes that Rosemary was there all along.
So Finch goes from following the book verbatim, blindly,
yes,
to losing the book and then being forced to think for himself.
Not necessarily losing the book, but having to put the book aside and making the decisions for himself.
Okay.
And try to figure that out for himself and see if he's really deserving of the job that he's given.
And what's the catalyst that makes that happen?
Well, they trust someone who is not very trustworthy, I guess. Well, it's not that she's not trustworthy, but she ends up revealing some very important clue that wasn't supposed to reveal, and all hell breaks loose, and everyone storms to their offices looking for clues for a treasure hunt.
Ooh.
Yes, there is a treasure hunt on the show. So, but yeah, and then he gets in trouble because that's his idea. He takes credit for that idea, but he has to come out of that situation somehow.
That's great.
Yeah. So and he puts the book aside, and he has to take ownership of his decisions.
Awesome. And Cameron, what is your character's journey?
So Bigley is how should we describe Jasper Bigley?
Jasper.
JB is he's like I mean, I guess in this world he's very serious and very, very I am Mr. Boss Man and stuff. But to the audience, he's not somebody to take serious at all. And I feel like, the Bigley's been working there a lot. He went to Old Ivy, so he's very proud college man, very proud of where he went and stuff, And he enjoys his knitting,
Well, and so Bigley, who is Bigley?
He is the president of Worldwide Wickets, and he is the man that Finch is trying to be friends with, because through Bigley, that's how Finch can really rise to the top.
Oh, okay.
And then Bigley meets another character who brings out a side that nobody ever sees in him. And through that, it's mostly through Finch, really, where Bigley kind of sort of has a change in his personality and demeanor, in the sense of being more kind to everybody and not being so like, you need to listen to me kind of thing. Like, he's actually like, more caring, I guess we could say.
So Finch inspires Bigley to be more caring.
Yes, through a song in one of the through one of the songs in the show, Bigley learns a lesson in a way through Finch. And I feel like pretty much everybody in the show learns a lesson through Finch's one song that we all get to chime in and sing and dance, and it's really fun.
Well, and what song is that?
It is Brotherhood of Man.
Oh. And how's that song go?
You want to sing the opening?
Oh, well, it starts as, now you may join the Elks, my friend, and I may join the Shriners, and other men may carry cards as members of the diners. Still others wear a golden key or small Greek letter pin. But I have learned there's one great club that all of us are in. There is a brotherhood of men. And the song goes on. That's really fun.
That sounds like a fun song. Nice. So Bigley goes on this journey from being less kind to more kind, and he is the person that Finch needs in order to succeed.
Yeah, and I feel like through the one other character that we meet that brings out this side that nobody's seen, I feel like he also kind of learns that he can show a nicer and more loving side. But through Finch, he's also learning that he can be more accepting of everybody else, and that, everybody needs to be treated fairly and equally throughout the office, instead of being like, you gotta listen to me because you work for me kind of thing. So, yeah.
Nice. So a shift. Finch inspires a shift in office culture.
Yes.
Awesome. And Rosemary, what is your story?
So I think that upon meeting Rosemary, everyone may think that she is just another secretary in the secretarial pool. She is meek and quiet and sweet. But as the play goes on, as the show goes on, we can see that she is very meticulous and very scheming. She knows what she wants, and she knows exactly what to do to get what she wants. And if one way doesn't work, she's willing to meander her way through the office and try another way. We see that she ends up trying to get a promotion to work in advertising as an excuse to get closer to Finch. So while he's climbing the ladder, she's climbing her own ladder. We also see that she confides in a few secretaries to help her as her wing women, so that Finch can notice her. She ends up planning a whole date, and she kind of just pretends that she doesn't know what's going on. And she's like, oh, we maybe should go to dinner. And I think the love that she has for Finch, it might seem like it's kind of just that like love at first sight sort of thing, but Rosemary's true. Like the love honestly comes from a place of like she has never met someone almost as ambitious as her. She is always trying to kind of move her way up. She's really good at what she does, and I feel like people kind of don't notice that. She's very quiet about it. But upon meeting Finch, someone who is so eager to just go straight into personnel and ask for a job, she is like, wow, I need to be with somebody like that. And she adopts this sort of like caring nature towards him. And she's like, I will succeed by seeing him thrive. And she sings a song to kind of emulate that. It's called Happy to Keep His Dinner Warm. And I feel like maybe upon hearing that, it sounds a little bit dated, but I think the dinner warm is more metaphorical in the sense of like, I'll be so happy to do anything that he needs to be the catalyst of his success. She wants to push him to be greater and to climb to the top of the corporate world.
Oh, interesting. And so one at a time, what is one thing that you love about your character that you super identify with? And what is one thing that you do not understand or do not like about your character?
Oh boy.
So who wants to go first? One thing that you totally identify with and love, and one thing that you're like, I don't know about this.
That's a really good question. I think one thing that I have always really emulated with Rosemary is her sort of awkwardness. She is just the type of person, she's a smile. Like if she is so excited about something, like you can truly see it and feel it, and you might not even know why she's excited or why she's super happy, but you automatically feel happy too. Especially when she's around Finch, she gets that kind of giddy feeling, and I love just, even though she plays very, I'm elegant, I'm a woman, I work in this office, she kind of lets loose and she can let out her kind of inner child upon finding out, like, I'm going on a date with Finch and things like that. And I think one thing that I might not particularly like, I would say, I think that she is a little bit hesitant on speaking up about how she really feels about Finch ignoring her. Finch is often distracted in, planning the treasure hunt and planning, like, how can I get promoted? How can I move up? And I think that she definitely, and on her own and to other people, she confides in her best friend Smitty, which is one of the other secretaries in the secretarial pool. And she's ranting to him about how she's going to resign, she's going to leave. But the moment that Finch gives her even the slightest bit of attention, she turns right back around. She's like, never mind. Actually, I am going to stay here. I'm not quitting. I'm here and I'm here to stay. So she kind of does it without question. And I think that I would love maybe for her to speak up about it and be like, hey, like, remember Rosemary. She has, in one of the songs, she literally says, remember me, Rosemary.
So you wish she spoke up for herself more.
Yes.
But you love her vibrant, warm feelings.
Yes, she has a very like warm aura, and she's just so giving. And I really like that. She's able to kind of put her feelings aside to for the betterment of Finch.
Got it. And what about you, Cameron? What do you love about Bigley? What do you identify with? And what do you question?
That's a good question. I mean, like, I love how funny Bigley is as a character. There's a lot I've really grown to really love this character, like, a lot, because it's like every scene that he's in, it's just funny. It's just, he's so weird and wacky, and like, he's this big man like he puts on this like, oh, like I'm the boss, so like, you know, like I'm the toughest guy around here. I went to Old Ivy, you know, I'm a, you know, proud alumni and stuff like that. But really, like he's just comedic relief at the end of, like he knits, he likes to golf. We have like a little plushy groundhog on the desk, and I always like play with it. So it's like Bigley likes to cuddle with it and stuff. So it's like he's not this serious guy that we think he is. So I guess I really love how funny he is, and I think that I kind of reside with that because like I always try to, like I cope with humor, and like I always try to put on a good mood, and I make dumb jokes all the time just because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like I like making people laugh and smile, like, it feels good, you know, and, so I guess I reside with his, like, comedic behavior and stuff. One thing I hate about him, that he's a married man and he's a player. Like, he's literally like, he hates his wife and he hates his nephew. Bud Frump.
Oh, yeah.
Thicker than anything. But, yeah, no, I guess, you know, I don't like that he's not a super loyal man. But by the end of, you know, the show, we see where that loyalty that he does have.
He has the capacity for it.
He has it.
Okay.
But he's never, until Finch, he's never really
Been expected.
Yeah, to like pull it out or like to really just like, you know, be loyal. And then by the end of the show, we kind of we don't like see that he is like more loyal to Gertrude, his wife. But we could only, by his demeanor and stuff like that, I mean, in my headcanon, I think he has become more loyal and forgiving and all that stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you love his humor,
Yes.
or the fact that he is able to bring levity to things.
Yes.
And
Without trying at all. Like he doesn't try. Like to him,
he's just
like,
funny.
He's being serious. But to the audience, it's like this guy's ridiculous. So.
And you question his loyalty and his sense of family.
Yes.
All right. So Igor, what about Finch? What do you love or identify with about Finch?
I think I love how childish he is at the point. Like sometimes, you know, he follows the book blindly, and I don't know, he has this childish quality to him. You know, even I have to change my voice a little bit to play him because otherwise it's gonna sound like you know. And then Finch talks more like this, and he has this more childish quality to his voice. You know, he's very excited about being, like, you know, it's almost like Finch is a puppet sometimes to me, and that's one of the qualities that I see him, because although that's gonna get him in trouble, that's the reason why people like him and connect to him. You know, because he's kind of childish is the
So
best
naive.
word. Naive, yes, naive.
He's
Perfect.
naive,
He's a little
trusting.
bit naive, yes. And I don't know. I mean, he must have something bad about him.
I mean, does he have choice? Does he make choices that you question? Does he?
I think the fact that he doesn't notice Rosemary from the get-go, it has always been like crazy to me. Like, she's right there. She's basically like begging him to, you know, to marry her, or you know, like to date, and he's just like, it just goes over his head, and he doesn't notice that. And so I guess that's the part that I guess I don't like Finch. And in a way, him being naive, you know, that's also like a downside, because he's going to follow the book no matter what, and then that gets him in trouble. You know, so that's a quality and not so much of a quality.
Well, being naive is a double-edged sword.
Yes,
Yeah. So it's his superpower, but perhaps also his weakness.
correct.
Aha. Nice. Okay, and so John, you've been the assistant director. So what has your experience been? What are you really loving about the show? What do you question about the show?
I just really love seeing them explore their characters and grow from the moment when they first auditioned and just they were like moldable clay. And you don't really know what to do with them, and you think that you're putting them in a role that they're right for, and it's amazing when it all comes together, and you get possibly even more surprised than you thought you ever could be. So that's always really fun to watch the evolution of the cast from start to finish. As far as things I don't like about the show, it's exhausting. I mean, it's as it comes with any show. It's a lot of time and energy, and especially for students who also have, other classes and jobs because they're working their way through school and everything. It's a lot for them, and I don't have half the stuff. I mean, I'm done with my schoolwork, and I don't have 15 other jobs, and I didn't have to memorize an entire script, and I don't know how they do it. I feel old watching their level of energy, of unbridled optimism and energy. And I guess that's probably what I don't like is y'all are making me feel old by being able to accomplish so much in such a little period of time. So it's been a great experience, and these three and the rest of the cast have really exceeded the expectations from when they first stepped into the audition.
That's amazing. So this show is the result. This is your. What are the words here? You are creating this show by participating in a class, right?
Yes.
So what is the class that this show is the result of?
So the class is called Opera Theater Workshop.
Okay.
And basically the class is the show. It's just this immersive experience where we can not only, participate as our characters and learn kind of, the inner workings of how to put a show together, but we are also working on set, learning how to do costumes, learning how to do stage makeup, hair, wigs, all sorts of things. Opera Theater Workshop also has a club called Theater Opera Project.
Okay.
Which is TOP. And that club fundraises and advertises for this class, for the show.
That's awesome. So what do you do? As part of the class? So I know that you are Rosemary, but are you also like doing costume design or marketing? Like, what are you doing?
So I'm also president of the Theater Opera Project. So kind of class president, I facilitate meetings when we have check-ins. I'm also kind of the person for outreaching to the community. So I am looking for ways to fundraise, looking for ways to promote the show in any way that I can. I also help out a little bit with the makeup. Once we get closer to the show, a lot of us, will be needing help with makeup and hair. And so we kind of help each other and we learn together. And it's a very collaborative kind of thing.
She's really good at it too. She managed to secure our cast a nice little one-on-one session today with a former cast member from an actual Broadway production of How to Succeed in Business, who's willing to offer just some little helpful hints and thoughts to our people before they hit the stage, which is just something that's just truly special to be able to have that experience, because I think most casts don't get that. But we're going to get to talk to Rob Bartlett, who was in the latest revival cast.
How cool.
On Broadway.
And how did you get that to happen, Cio?
So I really want to credit that to Igor, because Igor was already growing we have an Instagram page that also helps out with the advertising and letting people know when we have our performances. We get backstage, little sneak peeks here and there. When we initially found out that we were doing this show, he posted little descriptions of each character, and it was like, how to audition for such and such character. And that's when Rob Bartlett actually found our Instagram and reached out to us and offered any sort of tips for auditioning. I ended up taking him up on that offer, and he graciously coached me through the audition process, through callbacks, and me and him have just maintained contact throughout the show. I'll send him videos of our rehearsal and tell him about what's going on, and that's when he extended the offer of like, I really want to meet the cast. I want to be able to give you guys some advice and tell you about, I worked with 3 different Finches, and I've been in TV. I've done other shows on Broadway. He's a really renowned actor and performer, and we are just honored that he is able to give us a sliver of his knowledge, his advice. It's actually today we're going to talk about the context of the show, our characters. I'm really excited.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And that's all through your Instagram outreach.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Well done, Igor, for putting that together.
Thank you.
And well done, Rosemary, for cultivating that relationship.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what else? What else are you guys doing as part of this class? Cameron or Igor? Are you playing roles beyond Bigley and Finch?
Well, he plays Finch for both nights, so he's Finch.
Okay.
I play Bigley for like two of the shows, two of the nights. I thought there was like 4. That's why I was like, oh, two.
Open dress rehearsal.
Oh yes, okay. The 2 of the nights, and then I mostly just kind of help out backstage, give people their props if they need it, or I also volunteered to usher. I don't know if that'll happen, but yeah. And Igor is actually in charge of Are you in charge of building the set?
Yes.
Yeah. So Igor is in charge of building our set. So I've gone over there to help out. Most of the cast has gone over there to help out build the set and stuff. A lot of painting. Lots of painting. But yeah, that's what I do when I'm not Bigley.
So when you're not Bigley, you are painting.
In a ways, yes, and also just helping out backstage and maintaining the chaos.
Nice. Yeah. That is always important.
Yes.
Awesome. And Igor, what are you doing? So you are Finch.
I'm Finch. I designed the set for the show. I've actually been working on the show, I guess, a lot longer than I anticipated. So when we talked about what show we were going to do this semester, I started having ideas for the set, and then I asked to do the set design for the show. And then that's when I wanted to expand a little bit of our Instagram, our presence online, because I guess nowadays Instagram is the biggest platform that we have to promote the show. Mm-hmm. So we actually had, I think, a month or 2 months of little hints about the show until we actually announced what show was going to be. And then by the day that we announced what show we were going to do, the set was already planned out, and it was just a matter of get started on on building and painting. Yeah, I after the auditions, I come to find out that I'm playing Finch. So a lot of work to be done.
That is a lot. Well, and so what are your backgrounds? Are you were you doing a lot of theater in high school? What kind of theater training do you guys have?
So I graduated from the Osceola County School for the Arts. I was a drama major, and I was also taking vocal classes. So I was doing quite a bit of musical theater. Before I came to Valencia, I was actually selected as an outstanding supporting actor by the Dr. Phillips Applause Awards. So I got to go and train with people over there and perform at the Walt Disney Theater, which was like a great honor. And then coming to Valencia, I auditioned for the musical theater program, and I started taking musical theater classes, but then I also grew an interest towards journalism. And
Ooh.
yes, and so I was able to join the Valencia Voice, and so I began writing articles on the side. And this year, since they grew their broadcasting platform and Instagram and YouTube, I started anchoring for the weekly highlights, and I've also gotten the opportunity to do interviews. I went to the Disney College program actually recently, and I got to interview some alumni and tour the campus with them and do kind of a little immersive experience and write an article, learn how to make reels and make a reel about it. And I've been in a few shows. So I did my first show was Kiss Me Kate, and I played Lily Vanessa/Kate. It was a really fun time.
And when was that? Was that at Dr. Phillips?
No, so that was at Osceola County School for the Arts.
Okay.
That was my first musical that I ever did. And then the second one was The Little Mermaid. I played Jetsam, which was really fun. And now I'm in How to Succeed. Well, actually, I'm lying. I was in The Wild Party. That was my first OTW show. I played Nadine.
Awesome. And you came back.
And I did, yes.
Nice. And are you taking other theater classes at Valencia College?
So right now I am in a private vocal lesson class.
Awesome.
But last semester I was in stage dialects. I've mainly taken the music classes. I haven't taken an acting class yet, but I really want to. I've heard really good things about the improv class.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that I might be interested in as well. But I've mainly I'm starting with the music stuff, and I'm slowly starting to grow. And I've also been taking a lot of journalism classes on the side. So I'm trying to kind of bounce with both. And
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So, and then I'm set to graduate in the spring, and I'm hoping to transfer to UCF through Direct Connect.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
And do you know what you want to major in when you go to UCF?
So I've been teetering back and forth because I do love musical theater. But I did find a great love in writing articles and reporting. And so I kind of want to blend the two. And so I want to go into journalism and theater studies.
Ooh.
Yes. And so I also teach, this is so random, but I also teach middle school students. I teach acting.
That's amazing. Where do you teach?
I teach at Bella Lago Academy. It's a little volunteer moment, but I did go to school there. So it's a very full circle moment to be peers with my former instructor and to just kind of pass on the knowledge that I've gained from both OCSA, Valencia. It's literally just me regurgitating what I learned and passing it on, passing the torch. But I do plan to continue that when I go to UCF. So I'll be mainly focused on like the journalism stuff, but I still do want to be, spreading my knowledge of theater, and I'm hoping to maybe audition for some shows in the community. So yeah.
That's a great journey.
Thank you.
That's a great journey. And I love that you're spending part of that journey here at Valencia.
Me too. I had auditioned for a lot of schools in the area, but I think that Valencia, they had this program called the Osceola Prosper, which was the opportunity for high school students in Osceola County to take Valencia classes and earn their AA for free. And upon hearing that, I jumped at that opportunity because now it's given me the opportunity to teach, to work, to be in shows while taking classes. So I get to kind of balance everything. Valencia has made it very convenient, but they've also I feel like this is just a really big launch platform for my career and for myself.
That is awesome. So you chose Valencia College because of Osceola Prosper.
Yes, and I also had been doing some research on the musical theater program. I had been stalking the OTW Instagram, and I was a bit curious. And I just thought that it was going to be, one, the most convenient, but two, I kind of learned that Orlando was a place that was thriving with art. And I feel like when you're in high school and you're a musical theater student, there's this sort of stigma that like you have to go to New York, you need to go upstate, you need to leave Florida to be able to do art, to be able to perform in musicals and to learn. But doing a little bit of digging, I learned that like everything is right here and I can grow and thrive where I'm from.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. And so what about you guys? What was your journey? What were you doing before you found Valencia? What was your theater journey before that? And why did you choose Valencia?
Oh boy, my journey. It's a long journey. I've been doing theater since I was a kid. I actually, well, just to go back a little bit, English is not my first language. Portuguese is my first language.
Awesome.
I was born in Brazil, born and raised in Brazil. And English was a subject at school, and I didn't really like the language at the time when I was a kid. So my parents put me in an afternoon English class, right? And they had a drama club. And boom. They love doing musicals, and I love that. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? They're singing and dancing, and it's actually how I learned English, through musicals and through theater. Fast forward to me moving to the U.S. and being a long period like without going to school, trying to build my life. And then I actually found out my colleagues at work, she was going to Valencia. And then she was just always talking about like how after COVID they made the switch to a lot of online classes, and how she was able to attend school because of that. And I always wanted to go back to school. I always wanted to go for musical theater. Back in Brazil, I didn't have the chance to do that. So I was like, you know, maybe this is the little sign. This is the calling for me to go and audition. And I did. I got accepted into the program, and here I am. Yeah, I always liked singing, and I did some vocal lessons back in Brazil, but now I do vocal lessons here in Valencia, and got involved into the theater and
That's
doing
great.
what I love. Yes.
Well, and so what theater and music classes have you taken here at Valencia?
So technically, it's my second semester now. So
Okay.
I haven't taken a lot. I'm doing voice lessons and OTW this semester because playing the lead and doing the sets, and also trying to manage a full-time job was a little bit too much for me.
That's a lot of work.
It is. It is. And yeah, so I decided to take it easy. So it's just my second semester now, and hopefully next semester I get to focus a little bit more on my gen eds for now, so I can graduate.
Okay. Well, and so are you a musical theater major?
Yes.
And so what theater and music classes will you take as part of that?
From the top of my head, I know I need to take acting. I need to take stagecraft. A lot of music theory I have to take. A lot of the knowledge that I brought to Valencia was something from outside already. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to necessarily do all the classes because of that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited. She was talking about improv. I would love to take an improv class. Oh boy.
Well, and you're doing the set design too. So do you have a background in set design?
No.
Do you have a background in building or construction?
Well, I did work in construction for a while when I first moved to the U.S.
Okay.
So I do have an idea of how things are built. Back when I was doing theater in my English school in Brazil, I did design a little bit of the sets here and there, but it was mainly backdrops or small set pieces. And I always had the love for designing and translating the story visually. Because yes, we do have the music, we do have the acting, but sometimes when the set can further the story a little bit more, you know, like, and you can look at something and you understand where you are, like what's about to happen, and what's the idea for that show.
That's awesome. And Cameron, what about you? What was your journey?
So, my first ever show that I ever did was third grade, fourth grade, I want to say.
Okay.
And it was Frozen, and I played Prince Hans. And before I had done theater and stuff, I always wanted to do like sports, mainly soccer, because like I would play at recess with all my friends and stuff, and like I really liked it. And then I just never like really got like on a team or anything like that. Not that I was like terrible. It was just like, you know, like there were people better than me. So it was like,
Sure.
you know, like, and I get that. So like, and I don't know, like I would watch like old like cowboy shows and just old movies with my grandparents, and then like I would go outside and literally for my entertainment, I would just start like recreating it. Like not like scene for scene, but like most of it would be like from what I remembered from the show.
Oh, fun.
And so like even like trailers or whatever, like I would watch them and I'd be like, oh, and then I just get bored, and then I go outside and then I just like play around like with my imagination. And so my family was like, oh, we should do a show, Frozen and stuff. So I did it, and I really liked it. I thought it was so cool. You know, the fact that I get to see what's backstage, nobody else does, you know, and like I could tell them like, oh yeah, no, like this wasn't supposed to happen, and it was supposed to go down like this, and like seeing people's reaction, like, really? Like what? Like I don't know. Like I thought it was so cool because I was like, you didn't know that? Like, yeah, like that went wrong. You know, I thought that was cool. And then you know, I kept doing more shows throughout middle school and stuff, and then I got into high school, and then I started doing theater there.
And what high school did you go to?
I went to so I'm from Broward County, like Davie, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to St. Thomas Aquinas. I did the theater program over there, the drama club, and I did many shows there. My first show I did at STA was Harvey. It was a play, and it's about this guy, Elwood, who sees this imaginary 6-foot white bunny rabbit named Harvey, and his sister is fed up with it, so she tries to put him in like a psych ward almost to like help him. But within that interview, the doctor makes the mistake thinking that she sees the rabbit, so he puts her in. And then he realizes that he put the wrong person in, so now he's got to go find Elwood. But in that process, he starts seeing Harvey.
Oh,
so
no.
Now the question is Harvey fake or is he real? And like, even though you can't see him, like there was a whole scene. I thought it was so cool. This was my favorite part of it. But like, there was a scene where like everybody leaves the stage. There's nobody on stage, and we had 2 doors for like the offices, and we had 2 people on the side, and we had to time it like with the seconds and stuff. But one person would open up the door, and then shut it, and then wait a couple of seconds, and then the other side of the stage, the other door would open and shut, as if Harvey was walking through the office. So is he real or is he imaginary? I thought that was so cool. And then I did Animal Farm. I did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. I did, what else? Peter and the Starcatcher. And then I did Addams Family, where I played Gomez Addams. And I won a Cappy Award. for it, which I thought was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was really cool. So like I've always had like a lot of like comedic roles. I did Legally Blonde, which I didn't expect to do.
Yeah.
And I only did it because my friends were like, "Oh, you'd be a great Warner." I'm like, "Who's Warner?" And then they were like, "He's the jerk." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Sure."
Okay, I've got this.
And I got Emmett Forrest in the process, which I didn't expect at all, but I was super happy, and that was a great experience. And then, applying to colleges came around, and I'm not the most book smart person. I'm not the most scholastic dude out there. I just want to act. So I had to think of something fast. So I applied to UCF. And I also auditioned for their theater because I was told, it's easier to do the theater and then transfer into the musical theater. So that was going to be my plan.
Okay.
And UCF had denied me for just regular admission.
For the college admission.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then like a week later, I want to say, I think it was about a week or something like that, I had gotten accepted into their theater program.
Ah.
Yeah, so then I appealed,
Okay.
and it's actually kind of depressing, but we were at States for thespians,
Mm-hmm.
and we did me and 3 other of my friends, we had done Say My Name from Beetlejuice, and I was Beetlejuice, and that was really cool. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
But I was in the middle of a workshop for acting on camera, and I had just gone up, and the guy was telling me I did a great job and stuff. So I was feeling myself because I was like, oh, that's the second higher professional actor that's has not entirely. Well, he corrected me, but not corrected told me do it this way. He was more stretch it out, all that critiquing. So I sit down, and then I get an email from UCF for a response to my appeal, and then I open it, and they still denied me. And I was like, okay.
Oh, man.
I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I cried.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was over for me. I didn't know what I was going to do, because I wanted to be up here in Orlando. And then I found Valencia. And then I went to Valencia, and then I was going to audition for Young Frankenstein. But I got really sick.
No.
So I couldn't make the audition.
No.
So I didn't go. So that put me out of theater for a year.
Oh,
So
no.
I was itching to get back on because I missed it so much. And then a good friend of mine, Barbara, she was like, oh, OTW is doing, you should do OTW. And I didn't do it because they were already in the middle of Wild Party and stuff. And so I went ahead, I signed up for it, and then I went in for auditions, and now I'm here, and I'm just really happy to be here, and then I met these wonderful people, and our entire cast, everybody's great and so talented, and yeah, it's just a great experience.
So it sounds like you've done a lot of shows. Do you have, what is your training? Have you...
I mean, I would say, my training came from, mostly, listening to, watching, interviews of, professional actors.
Cool.
And hearing, this is how you do it, this is how you display emotion and stuff like that. You act with your eyes a lot and stuff. The eyes is what delivers the performance and drives it. So, I say that and just, watching movies and shows and thinking, trying to think what they are thinking in that moment to try to match it to be okay, cool, I can do it, But I also did take acting classes in high school and stuff. So, I say a lot of my stage work, it's just, a healthy combination, I would say, of, doing it myself, but also getting help from other people.
Well, and doing research outside of class is always important. So that's awesome.
It's also, people watching. That sounds weird, but, that's how you, acting, I think an actor had said, it's weird, but, once you start getting into acting and, you want to do it, you're going to start noticing you're going to watch people a lot more than you normally would. Because, you watch people and you see how different everybody reacts to things.
Absolutely.
So,
and are you taking classes within the musical theater track here at Valencia College?
Well, I did take an acting class last semester, but right now it's just, I'm taking a script analysis class,
Okay.
but besides that, it's just OTW right now.
So you're taking 2 classes right now.
No,
Script analysis and OTW?
I'm taking 4 classes.
Oh,
but,
okay.
yeah, but OTW is probably my favorite one because like I just come in and I play.
That's awesome.
And I love
So
that so much.
we're almost out of time, but what advice do you guys have to the next OTW class?
Ooh.
Like what advice would you give them?
I
Do
have
the alumni want to go first?
I think I have 2. This is something that has been told to me by every single instructor I've ever had, and so I just carry it with me in my heart. Trust yourself. Trust your technique. Trust that you know your things, and you have to just come in and play, essentially. And I'm a person that, I always relate to Rosemary because I'm very meticulous and very organized, and I have my own process for things, and I like to know exactly what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it. And getting into acting, it was like a challenge because I had to learn to let go and to let things happen, and to simply exist, essentially. So I would say trust everything that you know, and find your way to let go, because once you get into it, it's so hard to get out of it, and it's just like the best feeling. This one is like my other little piece of advice is more like acting wise. I always try to tell the students and the mentees that I teach, acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. And so, going off of what Cam was saying, people watching and observing, acting, we are living real emotions with these extreme, random, fantastical, situations and plots. So people watching is one of those big things where you can learn to react into those little nuances, the eyes and subtext. You could be saying one thing and your eyes are saying a completely different thing. And so when you learn that you are living truthfully, you are reacting and feeling real emotions that people feel, even if you're playing a fictional character, they're still feeling real emotions and experiencing real emotional arcs. And so I think remembering that has helped me put on a more authentic performance.
Awesome. Thank you. Cameron and Igor, what advice do you have for people in OTW next semester?
I think that the advice I'd give, it's more towards the audition. Pick a song that you have fun with. Like we've all heard all the Wickeds, we've all heard all the Funny Girls. Just go for something fun, and if you can pick something that almost nobody heard, even better. But like as long as you identify with the song and you can play with that song and you like it, boom, you got it.
I would say don't overthink. Pick something that you're comfortable with, and that you can do very well. And do not worry about every other person in the room, because I can tell you right now, every single other person is thinking the exact same thing that you are thinking. But they don't show it because you need to keep your composure and it's just, it's fair game for it. Acting is a very competitive career,
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that, it's just have fun and don't overthink. Because if you do, you'll mess up and it's going to be really bad and you're going to go home and you're going to be like, oh man, so just have fun. Don't think about it too much, because you'll get in, and then once you get in, you're going to meet amazing people, and then once you start to act, just have fun, I would say,
Awesome.
And do
And
your
John,
best.
we have 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds. Do you have any advice for the next OTW class?
Absolutely. Song choice, 100% song choice. Just pick something that you slay and go for it and show us who you are and let the directors decide where you fit in. And if you end up cutting yourself short, you'll never really know why.
Aha.
So pick the right song.
All right, guys, can you plug where can we find Opera Theater Workshop, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying?
So you can find our Instagram at Opera Theater Workshop.
And where do we find the show?
Oh, the show.
The show's going to be at Valencia East Campus on the Performing Arts Center, November 30th, December 1st, and 2nd at 7:30 p.m. Come see us.
We also have an open dress rehearsal on November 29th. That's a Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. in the PAC as well. Same place, for free, open to the public.
Fantastic. And thank you for joining us on Embracing the Bold.
Thank you for
We
having
will
us.
see you next time.